Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse in Fort Lauderdale.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And we are in for our real treat today. It is a first-time visit to our newest sponsor, and this is really a spectacular place. It's been open a little over 7 months, maybe going on 8 months. It's called Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, and it is located downtown, well, actually, the Rio Vista neighborhood, just south of the New River Tunnel, right here on Federal Highway, 620 South Federal. It's been a couple of things in the past, and right now, though, the present and the future looks very bright. Here with Tom Angelo and his daughter, Kassidy. They are the co-founders, proprietors of Daniel's, and welcome to the Lunchbox, and it's great to have you aboard.
Great to be here, Mike.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
So I guess just take me back, Tom. How did this all start, and how pleased are you with the results, especially the really nice honor bit within the first year to get Michelin Guide recognition?
Well, we're very, very fortunate to have that recognition, but more importantly, we're just so happy that the folks here in Broward County seem to be embracing the experience here in the restaurant. And my daughter was born right here in Broward General Hospital 24 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Probably a mile and a half away. And my son as well. And he's 27, not in the business. Kassidy, I was actually working for JP Morgan Bank, had graduated from Georgetown University.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
And we were in Italy early this summer, and a friend of mine who's the landlord of the building here told me that the restaurant that was here was struggling, and they were going to close, and asked me if we wanted to. I was operating a restaurant called Fiola in Miami, owned by myself and my partner, and I've always thought this was a great building and great opportunity. And I said to Cassie, "Would you want to come on board and do something together and go in the hospitality business?" And here we are.
And I've got to stop you
Wait,
right
did
now.
it go
and
that
say,
smoothly? Did it go that? It feels smooth.
It
The
was-
transition that it seems like she made.
Yeah, it was a pretty smooth transition.
wow.
I mean, we had the conversation. It's always kind of been a conversation since I graduated, but there really wasn't a room for me to kind of step in until this space kind of came to be. And I was like, I'm 24, might as well take the risk.
Well, I gotta stop at this point. I mean, we got Mike Luby Lubitz on the headset today on the mixing board, but Kassidy, what kind of masochist are you? I mean, Georgetown graduate on the track for making
Doing
buku
finance,
bucks in finance, and you throw yourself literally into the fire of the restaurant business, where, let's face it, people can tend to be a little challenging.
Yeah, most people think I'm crazy. That's the general consensus when people find out about my background. But it's been good. I mean, honestly, I think that this was the best transition I could have made. It's been about 8 months, and I pretty much left JP Morgan one day, and then the next day I was on the floor.
Yep.
So it's been great. We've done 2 openings in 5 months, and no looking back.
Yeah,
So
not just Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, but next door you have Dee's Sports Bar, and very fortuitously, it has opened up while the Panthers are on looks like another great Stanley Cup playoff run. A great game last night.
Yep.
Maybe that was
Unbelievable.
impressive. And you guys, the sports bar sometimes is closed in the middle of the week, but you are opening for these playoff games, right? Or by reservation?
yeah, well, we're Panthers fans at heart anyways.
Oh, nice.
So outside of even having a sports bar, we just love the Panthers. So it's fun for us to watch the games, but we have been opening on the Tuesdays or Wednesdays that we aren't typically open. It has been reservations only, just to kind of manage crowds, and make sure everyone has a comfortable experience. But for the most part, it's been really fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of the Panther executives that don't travel with the team. They come here for the away games.
Oh, really?
This is
So
true.
this is their like
15 or
Luckily, not Doug Seafood for me.
15 or 20 of the execs, the coaches that don't travel with the team, the scouts, and then frankly, we've had pretty much we've been blessed to have Bob Bobrowski, Sergio Bobrowski here 3-4 times for dinner. Aaron Ekblad at least a half a dozen times. Matt Kachuk.
When you
oh wow, there's like I guess the ice.
Yeah,
the ice tent's not far.
Yeah, they're super close.
When you told me this, I was surprised because it used to be when the Panthers' old practice facility was in the northwest corner of the county in Coral Springs, the Iceplex. They would all live out there in Parkland and Coral Springs. But now that their training facility is right up the block here at the old War Memorial and the whatever they call, I guess, the Baptist Iceplex. Yep. So a lot of them have moved east to the I call it the right side of the town. I love it here. I mean, I've moved to this neighborhood basically right when you guys open, which again, talk about fortuitous timing for me, because I love coming in here. And full disclosure, my girlfriend Val did the lighting design in here, and I know. Very pleasing to me to hear everybody come in and say, I just love the atmosphere. I love the way it's lit and the way the room looks. So job well done on that.
Lighting's very important, as is sound. And we spend a lot of time and money thinking about that, and also the acoustics in the room and making sure that it's you can hear yourself, even though we have the music on. There's a little bit of a vibe at night. It's not so loud that you can't have a conversation at the table, which is great.
Yeah. Now, so Daniel's is open 6 days a week. It's
Sunday through we open on Sundays.
Tuesday through Sunday.
The only day we close is Mondays,
right?
Currently.
And then you have now the sports bar that's open, which is typically closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays, except when local teams are on a big run.
Yeah, so we had a full house last night, and
nice.
Looking forward to the rest of the playoffs and hopefully the Stanley Cup Finals.
Now, I could attest. I've come in here to the sports bar for a couple of these Panthers games, and it's a great atmosphere. You did a really nice job with all the TVs and the bar menu. And he's not just he's what you call hands-on owner, because he's creating new items. When I come in, he says, Mike, you got to try this. And he brings out this new chicken Milanese sandwich. And it was fantastic. And he put it on the menu. I had it for dinner on Sunday night during the game when we just flew back from Nashville after a long, hard weekend. And it would really hit the spot.
Listen,
it's beautiful.
My mom was fortunate and Cassie's grandma lived to 102 years old.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, and my dad 92, but the last
was it chugging this olive oil that did the trick? I might have to start doing.
He does chug it every morning.
I chug it every morning.
A teaspoon, right? You're supposed to.
Yeah, that's
it's really good for you.
And she taught me a lot of very interesting, just very basic, great dishes, things that were super easy, comfort food that we call Italian comfort food. She was actually from the region of Basilicata, which is in the middle of the
Puglia, right?
Well, she was from Basilicata. My dad was from Puglia, which is
okay.
But she just made great comfort food dishes all the time, whether it was chicken soup or just these sandwiches. And so I always watched her and learned a lot from her. And it's a lot of fun being in the kitchen here with the guys.
Nice. So a little background about this place. I think people in Fort Lauderdale are familiar with its background, because my friend Giovanni Rocchio for a long time operated Valentino. They built this restaurant. It used to be across. Did a fantastic job with Valentino, and then he opened up One Door East next door, which was kind of like a tapas place. So now I like the fact that you've brought back kind of the 2-in-1 restaurant concept, where you've got the sports bar, a little, more, call it accessible, casual. You can come in there,
shorts,
watch a game in shorts.
Yep.
But again, really good elevated menu that you don't typically associate with sports bars. And then you have here, which, high-end steakhouse, but not fancy. People come in here and they say, "Oh, there's no tablecloths. You got the wood." We
did that on purpose. Wanted to make it approachable and neighborhood friendly. And last night we had full house on a Wednesday, which was great. And people we have we seem to be creating a lot of regulars and a lot of just great hospitality and elevated food not not overly fancy and
Right.
approachable, understandable.
Yeah, and the menu again over the 7 months, it's really kind of tightened up, and I think really found its focus. And you can see right here one of my favorite parts. Some places you go in and you see like a wine list or some offerings on a table tent, or in this case a framed thing. And this, explain what you've put together here. This is
So after we went on a tour of Spain, my daughter, myself, and Chef Danny about a month and a half ago, and we went to
it looked
several
fantastic, by the way. I saw
top
pictures.
steakhouses in the world.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We went to
Food
three of the
coma for 5
R&D,
days.
R&D, and all tax write-off. That's always good.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Every time I travel, that's what I tell my accountant.
Three of the best steakhouses in the world, and one of them we were in Bilbao, called Amarin, and it struck me that they had this incredible board with their steak program, and you can see where the steaks were from, the sourcing, whether it was grass fed, whether it was corn fed,
the aging process, wet age, dry age, how many days. I mean, it's great for carnivores. It's a delight.
And that we're doing it here, and I think it's resonated. Not everybody is into it, but the people that are really into steaks and understand exactly what we're bringing in, where we're sourcing it from, and the fact, for example, I've learned quite a bit in the last several months that necessarily grass fed's great, but you can have a corn fed steak if it's organically fed, if the cows are treated the right way and raised in a certain environment. It still could be an incredibly healthy steak. It doesn't have to be grass fed.
And again, for those who are not carnivores, you got some great fish dishes, local fish. Again, you call it a Florida steakhouse, but it's really geared towards local product, whether it's the produce and some of the salads and greens, the fish program. I know you had hogfish on the menu when it's in season, and
snapper right now, Florida snapper right now. A lot of when season, we use almost exclusively greens from 3 or 4 of the local farms, Harpke Farms, Tiny Farms, and several others. And then we have some great olive oil that we bring in from Italy, import directly from a producer that I work with. Very high concentration of antioxidants. And even the salts that we pick. We were doing a Wagyu flight right now, 3 different Wagyu fillets, 1 from Rosewood, Texas, and 2 from Australia. And we're using different salts for each of the steaks. So the chef will be on a little later. He'll explain his thinking. But Danny Ganem is our lead culinary director for our group. Is a Florida guy. He worked in Keys, and he's all about local sourcing and relationships.
Yeah, we're going to have Danny come on along with the chef de cuisine here. That's Diane Lopez. And that'll be in the next segment. So we'll actually get to taste some of the great food here. But the little touches, this is what I love. I mean, you have this olive oil that's kind of, from your family region, and that is near, and it's branded with your own hospitality name now, right?
Joya is that my father was born in a town called Gioia del Colle, also famously known for the home of Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
He just got the key to the city last year. His family's from there. It's a small town. It's about 30 miles from Bari. Italy, a lot of people know Bari. And the oil is produced with Coratina olives. So it's 100% Coratina, 2024 cold pressed, very high concentration of polyphenols and antioxidants, very healthy. We have salt.
Yeah, this salt and pepper shaker. When I saw it the first, it's not a shaker. It's a
salt dog.
Salt dog. We've got our white Malden salt, and this is actually black Hawaiian salt.
Right.
And the black Hawaiian salt goes very well with.
It's not even pepper. It's Hawaiian salt. You know what? I didn't even realize that. You got pepper grinders there.
Right. But the Hawaiian salt's great with fish. It has a little less of that.
Okay. And I guess you got the little spoon. You just kind of dish it on yourself, so it's all good. Kassidy, I just want to, talk to you a little about, you are here a lot of the nights and you man the fort, so to speak. You're seeing a lot of guests, and like you said, you're seeing regulars, locals, or I understand also people coming from as far as Miami and like Boca and Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And it's a good halfway point for people that want to meet in between. If they're meeting.
Absolutely. I think that Fort Lauderdale offers a great middle ground for people that want to meet, that live in Miami and have friends in Boca or Del Rey. They can meet here, which is great. But I do think that this draws a relatively local centric crowd. And I mean, we get a lot of tourists and we have great relationships with the hotels. And when they're looking for a steakhouse, they'll bring people here,
nice.
Which is wonderful. But I do think that we get a lot of regulars. And I think that, to my dad's point, I was born and raised here. My mom was born and raised here. My grandpa went to high school here, which is crazy. So, you think that your community is relatively small, especially when you've grown up in an environment.
Right. You know people.
Yeah.
They've known you since you're
Exactly.
really high.
But being at the door, you realize that Broward is so much bigger than, you give it credit for. And this community is, very large and has a lot of diversity and has amazing people, and so many wonderful people have walked through our door that I didn't even know existed prior. So we feel really fortunate that we've been able to have so many guests come in, whether they're from here or not, and they've been awesome. But
Pat Utter said you're a hospitality natural. So
sweet.
I don't know if you have, some nights where you just say, why did I do this? I could be sitting at a desk or maybe working remotely, and but no, I mean, but what's it like working with your dad? Because a lot of times families, look, a lot of restaurant businesses are family run, but to be in close quarters with your dad every day, is that both a treat and sometimes
well, I have the expression that I have to keep him on a short leash. I use that pretty frequently. I would say, I mean, he could probably speak to it too, but working with him has been amazing. I think that obviously there are challenges, but I've learned a lot from him, both from a business sense and also in the hospitality world. I came in pretty green, so I honestly didn't know what to expect. I'd never done an opening, let alone worked a door. So I think being totally new to the industry and then having my dad as a support system has been amazing. I mean, there are Saturday nights at 6 o'clock where I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, just step away. But the best thing about the restaurant industry is like 10 o'clock will happen, everyone's seated, and you're like, okay, like tonight was a great night.
Yeah, but it's just like the newspaper industry, which I was part of for 31 years. It's like, all right, great. We had a great day. We got it. We got through it.
And then
everybody's
all
happy.
over.
And it's like, oh, wait, now do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. Yeah. Tom, how gratifying it is for you to work with your daughter and see her, all grown up now.
Well, the gratification started when she graduated high school and went to Georgetown, where I went to school as well.
I got into Georgetown. They even gave me scholarship money, but I wanted to go to school in Boston, so I went to Tufts.
But you chose Tufts over Georgetown?
Yeah, am I crazy or what?
I mean, Tufts is a nice school, but it's
like a great college.
Yeah, but Georgetown's one of the great schools.
It's a great school.
Even then.
And
they're smart.
But
my dad got to live through the basketball era of Georgetown, so he was fortunate.
I was
84.
I was a senior.
With Ewing.
I was a senior.
Ewing and Thompson.
Senior year, we won the national championship.
Oh my God!
We went to the Final Four 3 times in 4 years.
Oh, jeez, good for you.
Final game 3 times. We lost to Michael Jordan and we lost to Villanova. But
Still thinking about it.
But she was persevered through COVID and she was up there during that time. I think we had a couple great years. Went up for graduation. She was an American Studies major, and I was kind of a geek in college, and I love history. So the fact that she was really involved, she wrote her 100-page thesis on Ronald Reagan, which was amazing. And so my admiration for Kassidy began very early. We're very close. We travel a lot together. We've done a lot of things throughout Europe. We learned she loves food, loves wine, loves hospitality. So watching her the door, but almost every night I have people come up and complimenting me on her on what she does, and so it's that it's just it's an incredible journey, and I'm just very blessed to have her be with.
Well, I say it's a terrific combo, especially when you can
if you can make it work.
Other.
That's impressive, and that's fantastic.
And so now let's get into some of the things. So again, you mentioned it's not overly formal or fancy in here, but still like you see, I wore a my nice collared dress shirt today. I didn't shave because I've got my playoff beard going in collaboration or in solidarity with the Panthers.
6-1 yesterday, so it's working for something.
We're getting there, and I'm not very good with beards. I get itchy, but it's okay. I'm going to go as long as they go, but I still can dress up. But in here, it's again, you need longer slacks, and
we prefer we obviously the summertime's coming, so we're going to accommodate folks in shorts. We also accommodate folks if they're from out of town, staying in a hotel. They may not bring pants with them. They're in Florida, so we really try to encourage as much as possible people not to wear flip-flops or shorts, but we make exceptions, and it's we are in South Florida, and
I call it's casual. I mean, it's classy, yet still you want to maintain what the overall
vibe, yeah.
environment and vibe is, and that brings us to the bar area and the happy hours, and that's a way for people to come in and maybe get a little bit of a taste without the full,
Right,
dinner
absolutely. Last night
experience.
we were blessed. Listen, every seat was full at the bar for happy hour. People with sliders, with great sliders, fries. We have bao buns, pastrami bao buns that are amazing, which are great. So yeah, we do great specials on cocktails and
yeah, you have. I don't know if it's still the same pricing, but it was like an $8 old fashioned or
Oh,
something
wow.
like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
which is.
Yeah, our cocktails are around $8 to $10 for happy hour.
And
Oh,
again,
wow.
it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the happy hour from 5 to 7.
Yes.
Right. You're open at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Did there used to be high top tables around the bar, or
there were, and we've had such demand for large groups that we now utilizing that area
Oh, yeah.
But just to clarify, the happy hour is available bar only.
Bar
right?
only, yeah.
Bar only. So
Yeah.
come early, get your seat, and
and next door, the happy hour 4. We open at 4 at the sports bar, so 4 to 6 at the sports bar.
Yeah.
Okay. The nice part of the sports bar, besides having all those beautiful big screen TVs to watch games, is when I'm off of cocktails now. I'm trying to lose weight, and the one thing I do like still to drink is good red wine.
Yeah.
So the nice part is you can order like the wine from the wine list here at Daniel's. And I know when we had an experience a couple of weeks ago for one of the playoff games, we got a nice bottle of red that they brought over from this side.
Oh, nice.
And we're doing 50% off the entire wine list on Monday nights at the sports bar, and we're going to be starting on Wednesdays here next week. 25% off the wine list on Wednesdays.
Wine Wednesdays. Okay,
Wine Wednesdays.
25%.
And we did get notice from Wine Spectator that we will be getting a Wine Spectator Award of Excellence.
Oh, nice.
Bravo.
As well for our first year, and we do have our wine director from down south who's been with me 7 years. It runs the wine program as well. So
you have some really nice bottles here. So job well done on that. And the last thing we should mention is, for people who are local who might not have been here, again, it's on the south side of the tunnel. Sometimes it's easy to miss, although you have done a great job with the signage, because previous occupants sometimes
it's not
just drove by it. You didn't even know it was there.
You see it right when you come out
Yeah.
of the tunnel, because I've been here a couple of times, but I'm like, do I GPS? Do I not? Oh, wait, it's like right there. Like
So
the sign's fantastic.
It's easy to find. And now for those who want to check it out during the summertime, I understand you're going to be taking part in the Visit Lauderdale Dine
We
Out
are.
Lauderdale
nice.
Yeah.
We're
promotion.
excited about that, and starts and we do it in Miami, and it's great with Miami Spice, and we're excited about August 1st, and we're going to be offering the I think it's $70 3-course dinner.
Oh, that's
Here.
fantastic. For here,
And-
that's a
and-
really good.
And we're going to do some great things with short rib and
Ooh,
things like that. And chefs really
We'll
looking
get a dessert with that
So
too. one of them.
absolutely,
Yeah.
The appetizer,
it's a 3 course.
entree,
That's
and
sick.
dessert. Probably do our signature tiramisu, our cookie skillet for dessert.
Cookie skillet is great, and it's one of those things where you say, "Wait, I'm going to a high-end steakhouse, Michelin, recommended, and a
Well, my
cookie
dad at
skillet, but
first-
it's so good."
He didn't believe in the cookie skillet when we
Yeah,
first
true,
started,
true.
and I
This
was
is why
like,
you're here.
Yes.
we got to have cookie skillet. Now
And-
he has the cookie skillet.
and
He's
it's
a
not-
happy man.
It's not just the youngins who are ordering it, right? Like
No,
they-
everyone orders it.
even boomers like me, or I'm Gen X technically, but sometimes I act like a boomer.
You're more boomer. Like I'm millennial, but more X. You're
Yeah, I
millennial, but
definitely- I've always been an
you're
old
X, but
soul.
not an X. You're more boomer.
Oh man, it's so good to be able to come in and chat. I'm so happy that you are on board supporting us here on the Lunchbox. We'd love to go and support our local independent restaurant operators. One last thing before we'll let you go and bring in Danny and Diam. How do you pronounce it?
Diam.
Diam.
Yeah.
And but you open beginning of October. It's perfect timing, right before season starts. You really hit your stride in the middle of season, enough to impress the Michelin inspectors. And
Which
I
is
have no idea who they are or what they're
amazing.
looking for, but I'm glad that at least they
They have
gave
some
you
sense.
some recognition. Obviously, in your first year to do that is an accomplishment, and then you can only hopefully go, higher into their stratosphere. But since you opened, it seems like every other day a new steakhouse is opening in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, you got things on Las Olas and things on the beach and things now in former churches that used to be other restaurants. And is all this competition good for the whole area, or B, you think you have already carved out your niche in your area that it shouldn't hopefully impact.
Well, I never take any success for granted in any business that I've had. I think it's a day to day, as you said about the newspaper business, right? You get it next day. So the thing about the restaurant business is very, very much so. We're only as good as our last service and every meal, and everybody leaves a restaurant. So we're always focused on that. As far as competition goes, we think it's great. We think it's more restaurants. Fort Lauderdale is a wonderful thing, and I think that we just keep our head down and focus on what we're doing. Not really so much focus on what other folks are doing. Just continuing to improve and provide hospitality at a level that's very high, and we think people will continue to come back. And
I think you're unique and distinct enough that you set yourself apart from all the others. And Kassidy, I guess for you, what do you look forward to as you get into the summer and then getting ready for second year of operations?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have some exciting things coming up at the end of the year. So there's things to look forward to, whether it's partnerships we've worked with the Dolphins from time to time in their owner suite in the 72 Club. So
we're actually going to be at the stadium next week. We're going to be hosting their last the Prestige Driving Club we did earlier in the year for Mr. Ross and Mr. Garfinkel. We're going to be there at the stadium next week cooking for them. Yeah.
So I think it's exciting, and it's great to kind of partner with other local teams and vendors and see what we can do. And I'm excited for Fort Lauderdale to grow. And we had a conversation yesterday where Fort Lauderdale ultimately, this is the time where it's growing, and it's great that the culinary scene is kind of seen a resurgence, and there's a freshness to it, which is exciting for everyone that's involved. So we're just excited, and we're excited for football season.
Yep. Well, and the Panthers are setting a nice stage for
and the Gators won. They did win the basketball championship, so we had to go Gators.
And we had the Dolphins draft party here. The Dolphins were here next door at the sports bar for that.
Oh, nice.
So it's good that you seem well linked up with the local sports community. So it makes sense that you have a really good, thriving sports bar for the locals here. And all right, we're going to take our first break. We look forward to coming back. Later on next month, and then during the summer. I understand both facilities will be closing for a little summer break.
We're gonna close just for a week in July. The July 4th week, we're gonna be closed one week. Yeah,
seems like everybody either gets out of town or just checks out. So, all right. But for meanwhile, Daniel's Florida Steakhouse, 6 days a week from Tuesday through Sunday night dinner service. Ever thought any thoughts of brunch service on this side? Or
we did brunch for Mother's Day, and we had a nice crowd. I'm not sure. I kind of I'm a big believer. I think people love to be on the water for brunch more and
outdoors,
sunshine. South Florida on a boat or taking their boat to shooters or places like that.
No, you got the right idea. So this is a dinner place, dinner centric.
Yeah.
But the sports bar,
we're going to go to 7 days a week at the sports bar starting in football season.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So for college football and Sunday games, you will be open starting at
Saturday
noon.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Tom and Kassidy Angelo, it is a delight to sit down and chat with you a bit, and we'll be back more.
Our pleasure.
Not just in future months, but after this break, we'll be back with the two chefs, and we'll be sampling some of the fine cuisine here at Daniel's of Florida Steakhouse after these words. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's of Florida Steakhouse a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail, and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In garlic we trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years. Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at juans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse in Fort Lauderdale, 620 South Federal Highway. If you haven't been here yet, what are you waiting for? Michelin Guide recommended. And now it's a pleasure to be joined by the namesake himself. Daniel Ganem is the executive chef, and we are also joined by Diane Lopez, who's the CDC, which is also known as the chef de cuisine. Welcome to the Lunchbox, gentlemen. It is such a treat to be in here. Obviously, I've been in here numerous times since you opened in early October. I remember that first night when you were having the kind of opening VIP pre-opening party.
Yes.
And you were beaming like an expectant father. Obviously, you've been in the restaurant business and around the block a few times. But it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to get something new. How do you think things have been going, Dan?
One of the things that is being proud of the team, because everybody have put their blood, sweat, and tears into this project, and it's really rewarding to see guests coming in and then enjoying it and literally saying, "Wow, this is spectacular."
Yeah, and now just give people a real quick background. Like, you've been a veteran of both the Miami and New York restaurant scenes.
So I worked in San Francisco, worked in Orlando with Norm Van Aiken.
Norm is the best. Yeah, we love Norm.
Norman is amazing.
Yes.
And then worked in Spain also.
Spain, okay.
Martin Versategui with a 3 Michelin star, and Mugaritz 2 Michelin star. And then, of course, worked with Laurent Turandel and with his restaurant in the Betsy Hotel.
Right.
And Michael Schwartz also here in Miami.
Okay. Did not know you worked with Michael. That's great. He's another one of the legends of South Florida. and then the last, where I first met you and Tom was down in Coral Gables, Fiola, and I guess Diane, the same thing. You worked with him for a while.
So Danny gave me my first opportunity as a chef
Mhm.
back at the Betsy, and that's where I met him. And his passion for a steakhouse and steaks came along.
You go back a long ways. Where are you from originally?
I'm born and raised in South Florida.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. It's a
So
Florida kid like
when
me.
you say a Florida steakhouse, you guys
Yeah.
mean
Mean
it.
it,
I mean,
all
you've
of
got
them.
some good local
South
roots
Florida
between.
guys.
I love the fat Cassidy, also born right
Yep.
here at Broward General, and then Diane, also a local. Let's take a
Okay,
trip around. Now we've got some blended items here. We have some things that are on the menu next door at the D Sports Bar. You also, we've got, and also you've got a. I don't want to call him a meddlesome owner, but he's a guy who likes to get in the kitchen.
I
and
just
come
took
up
a
with
picture
the-
of him in the kitchen because I've heard so much
He's
about him being in the
hands
kitchen.
on, and what's
He
that
is
like for a chef?
He
I mean,
is
he
amazing.
knows his food,
Oh, for sure.
and
is amazing.
he
He-
created
Oh.
this chicken Milanese sandwich that's right here. That's now on the bar,
beautiful.
sports bar menu. But then you've got some of the other. Just take us through what we got here on the table.
So, first of all, we have for these sports bars, we have the beautiful cacio e potato tots, which is a lot of fun.
Which Tom sends
Oh,
out
this
to
is at
me
the
every
sports bar.
time, and I said, Tom, I'm on this medication. I'm trying to
Oh,
lose
I'm glad
weight,
you ate it, 'cause
and
this
you're
looks
also
so
trying to
freaking
kill me
ridiculous.
because they're rich
Oh my
and
God, look how
good.
rich this is.
This is not your cafeteria
Oh,
in
jeez.
grade school tater tots. This is some high
Oh my
end.
God.
You gotta have
stuff.
some fun with it.
Fun. That's
Oh
an
my God.
understatement. That is spectacular. Oh my God.
And then you've got the twice baked potato, right? Or is that
The twice baked potato, it's one of our Daniel staples, which is a double baked Idaho potato, and then of course we load it up with just a little bit of butter and and
I'm
creme
sure.
fraiche.
I'm sure a little.
And-
do you sometimes put caviar on that, or that's
Yes, so we
as
have
a supplement?
yes. We put caviar as a supplement, so it makes it even more decadent.
Caviar makes everything better, and I do see a little bit of caviar on one of the dishes, which to me really makes this place special. It explains why people like the Michelin inspectors took notice of it, because and I don't know who's going to take credit for it, but this crab cake, a lot of places do, the straight up crab, and there's a Maryland style, but this, you've created really what I would call a Florida style crab cake. Can
Yes.
you describe it?
Yes, correct. So one of the beauties that here, and of course, working with Diane has been working with me for quite a while already, and he's seen me with a beard that was you can say dark.
Oh, it's
I-
great. a
it's,
little.
I have a gray beard.
extra gray.
It's pathetic. Yeah, I don't know.
So
what
we worked on
happens.
this beautiful crab cake, and Diane and I, we went to many farms during the summer, and then also we have already a couple farms that we need to visit during this summer, and we've met this really cool people at Beacon Fisheries, and we just wanted to bring in some beautiful blue Florida crab. And
Oh, it's
have-
Florida crab.
It's
Yeah.
Florida blue crab,
Yeah.
I
and
didn't know that was a
with
thing. Okay.
blended with.
And one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that we wanted to do something that it wasn't like the regular crab cake that you go anywhere, any restaurant. It's loaded with fillers and so
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
wish people could
how-
see it. It's so pretty. He's got the edible flowers on there. But yeah, I'm sorry. I was interrupting. It's I'm marveling.
It
at
was
it.
an
But
awe.
yeah, and it has rock shrimp in it too. right?
Yes. So Diane and I were working on how we can bind it. Because
Mhm.
again, it doesn't have any much fillers in
Yeah,
it.
some people use the breading or the breadcrumbs.
So he doesn't
us-
want that.
You decided to use rock shrimp as your
Oh,
filler.
Correct.
Yeah, no mayo, no breadcrumbs, just rock
Yeah.
shrimp, butter.
And it's sitting on this beautiful spread of it's kind of like a garlic aioli or an
A
aioli.
yogurt.
Oh, it's a yogurt.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so you got a
And
kind
caviar.
of Mediterranean influence, and then it's again a little bit of the caviar. Is it like American caviar?
It's
or is it-
N25 caviar, so it's right now one of the best caviars in the world that has been used.
Really?
Whenever I travel to London or Paris, they're using it, and we just had this great.
I'm going in. I'm
Go
sorry,
for it,
Fanny.
go
I'm
for it,
go
being
for it.
very rude here, but I'm messing
for it.
up this pretty plate. Oh, and on the side is these little droplets,
Of Meyer lemon.
Meyer lemon, like you call it a jelly or a
Yeah,
puree,
yeah,
or
yeah.
oh my god. Okay.
I like watching their faces watch you. Somehow they're actually happy to see you eat disgustingly.
No, because they know I appreciate good food, and it takes a real skill, which I don't have, to be able to eat while you're also talking and
No.
doing a
You don't
a
have
live
that
stream
skill.
show.
Thank
But-
goodness we have them here.
I mean, the two dishes that really kind of told me and sold me, my old former critic, that this was a place that's special. Besides the steak program and the way you guys have all the different offerings of the wet age, dry age, different grass fed, different states,
Mhm.
Australian Wagyu, Texas. But this crab cake, which shows off the local seafood and the
Yep.
local bounty, and then the other dish, which
And that's the crab cake Joe Beja was talking about, right?
mhm.
The guy who's been in some of the best restaurants, worked in the industry for years, made a point to mention that.
Joe
At
Beja,
Gulfstream Park.
executive director of hospitality at Gulfstream Park. He's up at the Preakness Steaks now, running the
Nice.
show there. But this dish, and then also, which is on your appetizer menu, they call it the foie gras creme brulee.
Oh my God, that just
And
sounds so
I don't know if people like foie gras. I am a
doesn't matter.
hedonist. I
Who
love
doesn't
my stuff. I
You
have
just
no,
haven't had foie gras. The minute look, I started low and I'm working my way up to eating at higher levels and fit in at a place like Daniel's, Michelin recommended. I didn't know I liked it, and then I took a bite of it. I mean, if you bite foie gras, you're gonna love.
but this foie gras. Explain what you do, and that's what made it special, is that you blended in other elements,
Yes.
elements that I usually don't like. Food is so subjective. Two of my least favorite foods are coconut. I like the flavor. I hate the texture, and mangoes. And yet, on a plate that had both coconut and mangoes,
You're
along with the
drinking it.
foie gras, and that's the mark of a really talented kitchen and chef. When I go in and I eat things that I ordinarily don't like, and I'll say, "Oh God, this is delicious," and I lick the plate afterwards. So, talk about that foie gras creme brulee dish.
So actually, a couple of years ago, I was the chef at the Little Palm Island, where actually Diane also went to work with me over there, all the way down to the Florida Keys,
Okay.
and we wanted to do something that represents the islands, the Keys, and of course, what better than to showcase those tropical flavors and into a foie gras, which I love foie gras. It's we've been even studying it for years, and wanted to do something a little bit more decadent with it.
Yeah.
So
Creative and such a stunning plate. Again, food that looks too pretty to eat, but yet eat we must.
so the foie gras creme brulee is an ode to the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
So I wanted to showcase, one, we have a beautiful coconut powder that represents the waves crashing into the Florida into the sand and the rocks, which is being represented by the coconut, the toasted coconut, and also cashews. And then, of course, what you're gonna find in South Florida is gonna be some beautiful mangoes, and then the creme brulee and the foie gras represent the Florida Key.
And the creme brulee is like a dessert creme brulee, or
It's actually full of foie gras in it.
it's
Yeah.
full of foie gras
Yes,
in it. So
yes,
it's
yes,
a
yes.
rich and savory creme brulee.
Yes.
And you could eat it for dessert, but you could also eat
Many
it.
people do.
Yeah.
Oh, they
many people
do?
Yeah,
Yeah, because it has the mango and coconut components.
That's interesting.
A completely decadent dessert. I've had it a few times to start a meal. It's a great dish. I hope I mean, people have taken to it, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
not
yes, yes.
everybody
Yeah,
knows, or
people that love foie gras, they go crazy over it.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of remember Michelin star, the chef group that was here and from France, and they just went nuts.
They
over
went
it.
nuts.
Okay, I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna say
I mean,
how could they not like it?
Look, you know me. I'm a humble guy, and I like to eat my sliders and all that stuff. But when I get
That's not-
presented with like truly outstanding, creative, elevated cuisine, I get a little bit excited. And that those two dishes, to me, it told me that you were doing something else that you can't get
Something
at
special. Yeah.
some of these chains, or look, a lot of places open up. God bless them all. But you really owe it to yourself, if you're into the food scene, to come to Daniel's and check out some of these offerings besides the steak. All right, now let's get to what did you prepare for us? And this is, I would call this a perfect. I
Perfectly
call it
cooked.
like
That's
rare
beautiful.
plus to medium rare.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
big-
yes.
And I don't know what it is, and excuse me, but I am
No, you
just
have to go
going
for it.
in.
Go for it.
And should I hit it with a little of the salty dog accoutrements here,
You
or
can.
just
I'm
go?
sure it doesn't.
Now, you know
need it,
what?
but I would just eat it.
I
That
don't want
looks
to insult the chef. I'm sure it's perfectly seasoned. I see a little bit of salt sprinkled
Yeah.
on top.
Yes.
That looks ridiculous.
Mm. Oh my God.
So what do you have here for
Wait,
us?
let me. I try to identify it
Oh,
just
you're
by
gonna
eating. So
figure
it's
it
a
out.
bone in.
There's a bone, so that's something.
Dry aged.
This looks like is it a strip?
A
sirloin?
cowboy.
A cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Where's it from? I'm sorry. I'm just eating it.
So Diane and I, we take a lot of pride in the steak program, and then we've gone through all the way to North Florida, but also we know that the one of the things is that cowboy. We get it from Greater Omaha, and Diane, tell us how you seasoned it.
So just all we do is butter,
Oh.
some butter that's been passed through some shallots and Wagyu fat that we make in house
my
with some of the leftovers, and then is just gonna be seasoned with salt and pepper, broilers all the way through, no oven, nothing, just 100% broiler. Let it rest for 7-8 minutes, bump it back up to a nice temperature,
And
and
then you grill.
that's it. No, just
Oh,
broiler.
just broil.
And the
Wow,
crust,
bro,
the,
straight
the
through.
crust on this thing is incredible. So being
Wow.
able to get that beautiful caramelization crust, and then you still keep the meat at that
Yeah, look at
perfect
that color. That's
that
fantastic.
I call it rare plus
Yep,
medium
yep.
rare temperature, and it does have a beautiful house steak sauce on the side.
Yes.
But I'm a
I feel like
purist.
that's
I think-
sacrilegious.
What's in the steak sauce? And I do admire and like the steak sauce.
Well,
there as
that's the secret recipe.
Oh, wow,
But
okay.
you can. It's very complex. But let's talk a little bit also about
Worcestershire?
the
Is it Worcestershire?
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
It's
Yeah.
steak sauce, man.
So, and
the Wagyu fat.
Mm.
So one of the goals for us is for sustainability. So and one day hopefully we can be in the zero be zero waste.
Mm.
So all the Wagyu fat, and then we render it over here. So
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Florida Wagyu fat, and that we get from the ranches, and also from the steaks and everything that we can just trim, render it, and we can use it again for reuse it for the steaks.
well, that's nice to see that I'm actually doing an ecological mitzvah by eating the steak. Now, I don't know how sustainable I would be if I just keep eating Wagyu fat every day, but for an occasional treat, it is definitely it's a treat. You know what? Let's take our second break, and we'll come back and devour the rest of the menu. I'm going to let Luby take the.
We have it. This is the one thing
slider.
you didn't explain. So
Well, we
I've
got
been waiting. Oh, you want to
we'll do
tease
the
the
break.
slider?
We're
Okay.
teasing the slider and the
Okay.
Milanese.
I feel like the steak should.
You're going to get to have the slider because I had it, and I'm going to get to get this Milanese sandwich again, which is new on the D's Sports Bar menu.
So your friendly remarks was like, since when did cutlet become Milanese? When you're Italian, because literally Milanese means chicken cutlet. That's what it means.
So like a cutlet that you don't pour the red
Yeah,
sauce on
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Then, red sauce is a Parmesan, and
Mm.
Milanese is just breaded,
Yes.
fried, usually topped with some sort of greens, and in
Yes.
this case, it's a broccoli rabe and some provolone cheese, because Tom knows me, and he knows my
I
favorite
have a thing with broccoli rabe.
favorite sandwiches, from Philadelphia is usually it's the roast pork with broccoli rabe and provolone,
sure.
not the
Mhm.
cheesesteak.
Yeah.
People got it all wrong. The cheesesteak should not be the sandwich of Philadelphia. They ruin perfectly good ribeye by chopping it up and cooking it past murderous state. But to do a variation with the chicken Milanese cutlet with the same provolone and broccoli rabe, it makes me do my happy dance. So, all right, let's take the second break, and we'll come back and we'll eat some more at Daniel's of Florida Steakhouse. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m. Indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boy's Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boy's has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and all right, we're back at Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse. We're having ourselves a lunch feast on the Lunchbox today. We're with Executive Chef Daniel Ganem and the Chef de Cuisine, Diane Lopez. It's such a treat. We kind of took some bites and nibbles, but we've got more to eat. And let's talk about, well, the twice-baked potato you did talk about, but I didn't eat it yet. And Luby, you got to get in there because this... again, the sour cream, or is it creme fraiche? Creme fraiche. Where is that? Yeah, it's so good. Talk about menu development and how do you go around coming up with new concepts. And you were telling me for the Dine Out Lauderdale menu, you're going to be doing some new items as well, right?
So one of the, and maybe it's just me being just crazy. It's just for me, it's always about one, of course, understanding what the guests want, what they like, and Diane has also worked with me for so long that he knows what I like and the flavors and the details that we want. But it's a lot about understanding what the guests want and also how we can push the boundaries as much as we can, but making sure that we don't go crazy.
Right. I guess one of the slogans of a chef and that you learn over the years is keep it simple. Get out of the way of if you got good ingredients, let them shine. And it definitely do that with the steaks. And we didn't mention before that this is a dry aged steak. It has a really nice, some people who are steak connoisseurs, they like that little dry aging on it. Gives it a little bit of I would call it not a funk, because funk is a funky word, but it gives it that flavor, that
umami flavor.
Umami, yes. And I scream out when I eat a really good piece of steak. Umami, that's so good. And then again, the burger here, even the little touches like the Newski bacon on top of that, and the cheese you use is
so that's a part of our goal of making sure that we have at least 70, depending on the season, 70% of ingredients from Florida. So there's a Toma cheese from up north, maybe like an hour north of Jacksonville.
Oh wow.
We went all the way over there, and we made this.
I didn't know Florida had a cheese industry.
Cheese,
Yes.
they have Florida cheese.
Hawthorne Creamery. That's
Oh wow! I mean, I learned something new. I really didn't realize that it was Florida produced cheese.
Hawthorne Creamery, and then also what we do, part of our sustainability push is to most of the ranchers they have so much after they get the cows and so on. So we're like, okay, let's send us the ground beef. So the ground beef we make our sliders and also our burgers for next door.
And
so the sliders on the happy hour here, and then the bigger smash burgers.
Yes,
at
correct.
the bar.
And what kind of roll is that? Because that's a very
It's the milk bread.
It's a milk bread, and
Yes.
it's also locally produced.
Yes, correct.
And I have the milk bread that you bring out for the actual dinner service, and that's also a really nice touch. So you guys are really killing it here. It's a beautiful thing. So keep up the great work.
Well, let me ask you, because you've both worked around the world. You've done a lot in Miami. I'm not only South Florida born and raised, I'm a Broward guy. So I know Miami has its level of elevation when it comes to food, and Fort Lauderdale's trying to catch up. And Tim and Blue, who's with the Catherine, who's not far from here, we've talked about with him, is he's a guy who went to my high school. He went to Piper, cut his teeth here, but then went down to Miami because that's where people respect you for the food, and they're also more open to their taste. But he then came back here, and you're now here trying to elevate Fort Lauderdale. What have you guys noticed, both Dime and Chef Daniel, Chef Dime and Chef Daniel? What have you noticed about how has Fort Lauderdale? Because you're doing steak, but you are doing the little takes, with foie gras, with coconut and mango. You're trying to introduce. What can we do? Can we push it a little bit? What have you noticed about the clientele and I know you're getting people from Miami, you're getting people from North, but you're in Fort Lauderdale. What have you noticed how people received, you trying to expand their palate?
Well, I think guests have been great. Very, very, very happy to see us here and what we do. They love our food. They come by and say hi every night at the end of their meal.
Nice.
So that's very nice to see.
And that's one of the things
humbling.
I love about the
people are
organization.
happy.
And you also you don't have chef's counter seating per se, but
you can see and it's
open
accessible.
kitchen that you can talk to the chefs and
yes.
And I think that what you're alluding to, and I've knocked it in the past when I was the newspaper critic, is that sometimes Broward restaurants and Broward, the clientele overall could be a little plain Jane,
like mundane.
And
I'm not trying to mock them. It's me. I'm one of those people.
I'm so happy.
But I've learned to open, and I'm just curious if you guys have found that.
One of the things. So I got back from Spain in 2007. So imagine working at a 3 Michelin star restaurant, 2 Michelin star restaurant, and I worked in San Francisco before, Northern Aiken, and this whole thing. And coming back in 2007, the change after almost 20 years to now is one, of course, data's in front of you.
Right.
People see what's going on around the world. Before you couldn't see it. Before you didn't have that information.
And TikTok and all
Well,
that.
the Food Network has been around a while now, for a whole generation, and that
Yep.
really has also raised the game, and people are more bold in experimenting in things. And I think the testament of whether this is working and whether people are receptive is people keep coming back and people keep ordering the crab cake and the foie gras and some of the other great items. Meanwhile, I am taking a bite because I don't want to be rude to my host, Tom Angelo. He came up with this, I don't know when or how. I mean, it was just in the last month, and he just, threw the plate down and said, try this. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty effing good. And so job well done, and it's on a nice focaccia bread. Very hefty sandwich. I usually come in and split it with Val, have one of these and have a salad. And that's a perfect little dinner there at the sports bar side. Nice glass of red. And Luby, I'm very proud of you. While I was talking, you took the first bite of the slider, again, with that excellent, is that a grass-fed beef or is that?
Wagyu.
It's a Wagyu. And
From Suwannee River.
Wagyu, a local Wagyu slider. What do you think, sir?
It's fantastic. And it's interesting because I'm a huge condiment guy. I wouldn't put it on that. I wouldn't put ketchup or anything on that. I wouldn't touch that with anything else. It doesn't need it. But a lot of the time, and the goal is to taste the beef, but I like that you can taste a little bit of everything.
Yes.
And it comes almost in waves, which
onion strings.
Look, in a dish like the crab cake, you get that, right? But a lot of the time when it's a sandwich, something stands out and then everything falls away. That's not that. Like the burger, you taste the burger, but then you can taste the bacon, which is outstanding. You taste the cheese, and the bread is nice. It's like soft.
Every
but it's not too
component
soft.
works.
It works
is
together. Well, I know
Thank
they know that, but I'm just saying, like the fact that I, as a lay eater, can taste every aspect is really impressive, and it's fantastic.
You're growing up, Luby.
I'm trying. I'm trying to keep up.
Stick with me. And his palate has really evolved. He used to be nothing but like chicken. He went to Florida State. What was the place up there? Guthrie's.
Guthrie's. That was my spot. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Luby. You've come such a long way. All right, we know you guys got a busy day, and you got to get out of here. We're gonna let you go. We are just so thankful for what you've prepared for us today, for what you're doing here at Daniel's, for raising the bar in the Fort Lauderdale culinary scene. We're going to be back with you for the next few months. We'll be talking about Dine Out Lauderdale, which is going to be in August and September. We're going to be talking about football season, which is going to be a big deal next door at the sports bar.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I'm marveling at the steak selection here. I mean, it's like going to a wine bar and you can get any kind of wine. You can get any kind of steak. I see 2 different varieties from Florida, again, so it's a Florida steakhouse. You got Arrowhead beef from Chipley with, again, a wet-aged Wagyu, a Delmonico cut. You've got Providence cattle in Tampa, grass-fed. That's a wet-aged Black Angus Kansas City steak. You've got a couple from Omaha, Nebraska. You got a couple from, you got Texas. You got North Dakota. You got 2 Wagyu, Australian Wagyus, wet age, dry age, different cuts, whatever you want. They have it here, and it is for the discerning steak connoisseur.
Yep.
And it's for anybody because you also have some great vegetarian dishes.
Yes, of course.
That zucchini roll.
You have the zucchini tataki.
Yeah.
And I love cooking vegetarian because I have a vegan mother-in-law and vegan sister-in-law that they used to go to my house and
you still talk to them, huh?
Yeah.
Go to your house and cook.
I love it. I love cooking vegetables.
Okay. And then again,
it's a challenge. It makes you have to.
That zucchini tataki, it's like a sushi roll, only it's like a grilled prepared zucchini. Nice. It's a beautiful dish. So again, and then some of the seafood, whether it's the snapper or the hogfish and sea, I could just continue gushing praise all day.
But this way, I know why. The Michelin guy made them recommended because
and they're going to go up from here.
Well, it's within the first 6 months. Like that's impressive.
I mean, they've tightened up the ship. Like any new restaurant, sometimes there were some things that needed some adjustments.
Of course,
but you guys have made them all, and it is now officially Lunchbox approved.
Oh yeah!
And I hope everybody who's watching this on the Let's Eat South Florida group as we approach 200,000.
Nice.
Again, come check it out. Whether it's happy hour, whether it's Dine Out Lauderdale later in the summer, if that's what your budget is, or, for an occasion, a special occasion, or really just another day of breathing, which for me now is a special occasion. I love coming in here. So 620 South Federal Highway. Thanks a lot, guys. We're going to take our third and final break. We'll let you go. And then me and Luby will wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words.
Thank you.
Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Kassidy Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Kassidy Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. All right, we're back at Daniel's, a Florida Steakhouse, 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. Michelin guide recommended. Tom Angelo, I can't thank you enough. Is it appropriate to pour olive oil on the steak?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, again, I don't think it needs anything.
I don't know if that's an appropriate accoutrement to this beautiful dry-aged steak, but I'm going to take my final bite. Kudos to you for, I mean, what a great teamwork that you are able to work with your daughter and also with the chefs. You create new menu items. You cook pasta. I hear that you are a very hands-on guy.
And flying with the chef and I and my daughter are going to Italy for a 8-day culinary extravaganza.
No, we call it R&D.
That's R&D.
More R&D. Lots of R&D.
When are you going? Oh, that's going to be in July?
We leave Memorial Day.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So you're going to be gone. Okay.
Yeah,
So
8 days.
constantly evolving, on the lookout for
learning,
things that make things, again, that higher level that we love here at Daniel's. But like you said, don't be intimidated because there are some really great values and things at very affordable.
Or short rib at $56. And lots of things for everyone.
Oh my God, the steak with the olive oil. I think it works. Don't they call that like a beefsteak Florentina or something like that?
They do.
Oh my goodness. All right.
This has been a show.
And you know what? Next time, maybe we'll have a couple of cocktails. We focused on the food.
Why not?
Why not? Indeed. Tom Angelo, you're the man. Thank you so much. I shake your hand, but I'm covered in olive oil and steak juice now.
There you go.
Have a great day. Everybody, tomorrow we'll be at our usual Gulfstream Park, 10 Palms, Preakness Preview Day. Black Eyed Susan is the big race on the card up at Pimlico. And we love talking horses. We also love hanging out at Gulfstream at 10 Palms, where you can get a great meal every day of live racing, and also the home of the great Sunday brunch buffet there that we have our contest every week. We'll do another contest tomorrow. That's it for today. Enjoy every steak, enjoy every crab cake, and enjoy every Milanese sandwich.